My good people, today I'm still shaking, but stirred. Shaken and stirred, whatever. I received a parcel from my doctor. St. Bart's Hospital, St. Bartholomew Hospital, where I was in admission for 2 weeks. I told you, and you all know categorically, KEGUS, me, I had a health scare. You know what I mean? A health scare, a close shave. Investigations are still going on. They're trying to find out this and that, this or that, blood tests, scan, MRI. You talk about it, it's all science, medicine, at its top end. You might see me just about, but this is just a bravado, my bravado. You know me, same old. I'm battling health issues. I've had a history of blood pressure, you know that. People say, KEGUS, you always stress. KEGUS, probably you stress yourself. Diabetes, I'm battling that. You know, it's an ongoing. You have to manage your diabetes and all that. Plus this congenital heart failure, which came about. But as you remember, 2025, my health was all over the place. Gastro reflux, acid, whatever. Then I had something to do with my, it was all complicated. I was in and out of hospital several times, emergency, A&E. And by the end of the year, I am taken ill. That's when I'm admitted. So 2025 is a year that I put down as a litmus test. Those who did chemistry, you remember the Bunsen burner? H whatever, you mix all the chemicals and then you test what your results are going to be and all that. Anyway, this is what I'm talking about. They've picked up something. Probably, I don't know what they've picked up from their tests, but they want me to do, I have done the test anyway, so because it involved me taking my stool. For those who don't know, then you probe, there's a kit they sent me. Then you seal it up in, it's very, very well done. You do it at home. And then you send it off in the post for bowel cancer. Bowel cancer, not prostate cancer, bowel cancer. I'm wondering why of all cancers they've picked up that one, but you never know. I'm not a doctor. What the doctor is doing is probably going through, reviewing everything piece by piece. It could be an early indicator of something. I'm not saying I'm complaining of any ailment, no. But here there is what they call early diagnosis. You pick up something early and deal with it. I've had the prostate. You know what, the prostate test. It was done in hospital, I remember. The nurses, I think, came in at about midnight, the night shift nurses, and she said she wanted to do the prostate gland test and all that. That checked out. Prostate it's a man thing. Those who don't know, it's a very intrusive test. Very, very intrusive. Prostate test. It is very uncomfortable, but it's good to be done. They probe the finger right through your rectum, and then they feel the organ inside there. That is the old school way of doing it. But of course, they can do the scans and everything, but I think pretty much everything is to do with what they need to investigate. And they would tell you if something's all right. I've never had anything to do with my, urinary problem or whatever, swollen you know, if you have any problem with your testes, they swell up, and that would indicate early signs of anything wrong. I'm not worried. You would ask me now, Mr. P, Mr. Patrick, are you worried of anything coming up from the test? They said the tests will take 2 weeks to come back, and you will know. You will know. I'll let you know, P. So I'm just, you've seen the picture, I've posted the picture of the kit. It came in the post. You open it, read through all the instructions, unseal it, take out the small test kit with everything in there. And pretty much when you go to do your bowel movement. So this morning it was a bit uncomfortable, you know what I mean? So, but you have to do it. You have to do it. And then you seal up everything in sanitized kit. And then I've sent it off in the post this afternoon. But it's left me wondering, I would say probably gobsmacked. I'm following a few people. There's a gentleman, Mr. Okum, in Canada. And he's sharing his story while last on the dialysis and all that. So, and I've not had this privileged access to be around somebody dealing with something like that. Like me, I'm sharing my experience dealing with a heart failure. Where people pick up something, okay. The closest I remember many years ago was working in Macmillan Cancer Research. They had a hospice home for palliative care. It's about 20 years ago when I was still a student. My student days. Yeah, I loved working there because it was close to something I was familiar with, looking after my mom, you know. My mom was looked after at home, end of life. So she chose to stay at home, having been advised by the Franciscan sisters in Zambia Hospital. Eddwaliro ly'ensambya lye mulaba eryo liriko ssente z'amamu wange empitirivu nnyo. Kevin Award, whatever, back in the day, private wing and all that. A lot of money of my mom, she gave the hospital. But in the end, they could do so much. And they advised her to go home and pretty much live out her life. Our very lovely home in Kamocha. You people, you know our home. Very, very beautiful home. So we had Mulago Hospital, Dr. Rugo come over, residence at our home. That double-storied house. He was staying upstairs and looking after my mom full time. Imagine a doctor on the payroll. My family, my mom was paying. I was paying as well. I was working by then. That's when I was a billionaire. So, and she enjoyed her last days. So I have a picture of something similar to that. Yeah, although this is hospice care, this was home care. Gainane carer, my mom had the nurse who used to come and change the cannulas and everything. She was on, remember, transfusion. What is it called? I don't know those medical languages, but when you're on palliative care, they put you on pain relief. Very strong. Was it Propofol? I remember that white powder that they used to mix and they put in the bottle. If you remember Michael Jackson, he used to call it the white what? There's a word he used to use. My milk. Give me my milk. So she would sleep through the pain and pretty much forget the world. I've seen that. I've seen that. Yeah, my mom lived out. Have you seen the pictures, by the way? You've seen, some of you have had a chance to see my mom when she was at home. I'll show you the pictures again when she was at home. And her last days, her hand was all bruised from the injections because sometimes the veins were not there, so many things. But that was life. Yeah. We did everything. They brought in medication from America. They brought in so many things from Thailand, South Africa. Every sort of medication. If you came at home, you could think there's even a pharmacy at our house. But that's what God had decided. She was young. She was 43 when she passed. She took ill at 40, 41. Many years ago, 1998. Yeah, so let's come back to what we're talking about here right now. Bowel cancer is not something I should be worried about. But the doctor, I've told my doctor, she's a lady, top in the heart unit or the heart department. Yeah. So I'm in very good hands. And I think she's one of the top specialists in the UK. Heart. She does surgery. She does many other things because she was the one who was supposed to do my operation when I was in hospital. And the reason why they stopped the surgery, she knows the reason why. And that's probably why she's following my recovery throughout. There's something she's learning. Probably, how did I come close to having an operation and then my heart stabilized and everything and whatever went on? I don't know, even me, I don't know what really went on. Maybe, I don't know, but at the time they were supposed to perform the surgery, I was already prepped up. There was no like yes or no, it was like let's start. Because the anesthetist was there, they had already hooked me up and everything. They were beginning to inject me with I think they do the first saline and everything. Then everything was stop. Stop. The machines were beep. So they had to abort their, very interesting, it's never happened before. And then they had to return me back to the intensive care unit. And I've made recovery. So sometimes decisions are made right up to the last minute. Up to the last minute. My heart, my blood pressure was in 200s. 220 something. My heart was, and I had a ruptured aorta. My aorta was ruptured. If I could show you the pictures, you would even get scared. But that is sensitive information. Yeah, it's not, but I'm telling you what was going on at that time. And then my heart stabilized. The blood pressure dropped to normal. So, in terms of the decisions, what they call clinical decision unit, because there were a team of about 5 of them, top surgeons, plus the medical students, plus the surgery staff. Those were the blue row, whatever. They bring the instruments, they are washing this, they are doing this, they are putting, it was a full theater. So it was kind of tough. Very, very overwhelming experience. Very, very overwhelming. So I was brought back to the intensive unit where you saw me on the machine. The machine was... So, it's if you haven't been in my situation, you wouldn't understand. And I have got every month until 2027 March, I have to go to the hospital. And then they do the scan, and then they do the monitoring, and they do the whatever. Then they look through the notes, then they see me as well. I've done well, you know, I've made a comeback. We call it a comeback. Yeah. And you see yourself back on your feet again, and then you say, yeah. And the doctors are very, very proud. They talk about, I've done a few reviews and feedbacks for their team, and like, I only have to say good things. I don't know what else to say, you know, like. And hadn't I gone to hospital that Monday morning, because the pain was there in the chest, and it was not going, it was going, it was coming, constant pain, you know. And I didn't know. Hi, Christina. And then when I went to A&E, they sat me down and they asked me, how have you got yourself here? And they couldn't believe I was even still walking. They couldn't believe, because my blood pressure was very, very high. It was 190 something over what? They said, no. Sit here. So they had to deal with that first. They hooked me up and everything. Before I knew it, I was in admission. These are the things they call untold. Kati kyembagamba nti nze obulamu sijja gamba nti ndi mu nsi ngagga, ne bwe nandibadde e Uganda nandibadde nsobola okwejjanjaba. Olyajaga kati gwe KEGUS, you are in the UK. No. Ne Uganda yennyini I would afford ba obbi bange bangi nnyo basawo. Tutandikire mulago yonna. There are many of my obbies classmates. KEGUS otulwaleko. Ba dentist balina balubega baani bonna emulago ne bamwaka abaani bonna balutalo baani bonna. No. NAGAGA. No. You are betuda movie exercise sports baani bonna. KEGUS olina okwefaako, olina okukola exercise. And that's it. So it is just about discipline. How do you handle situations? Mbabuulidde mama wange bwe yalwala, twamujjanjaba top of the range, forget about the Nakasero hospitals and everything. Nsambya Franciscan sisters. And I owe them a lot. One day I'll visit them and I'll show them the pictures, because my mom was there. They would say, yeah, this is in Zambia hospital. She was there for about 3 months. Never call extension ya Kevin, a private wing Jemulaba. She donated a lot of money. Of course, she was spending a lot of money there as well. That's the same thing my dad also did. In Mengo, Dr. Sir Albert Cook Hospital. Private wing, VVIP. Tialiyo. He agitekako never extending. Endwadde ebiseera ebyo abantu baatyanga nnyo okulwala, especially abagagga nga baagala nnyo privacy. Kati when my mom bwe yalwala, bulijjo omugagga abadde mulwadde. They couldn't believe she was there. Naye kati eb'ennaku zino buli kimu kibeera ku social media, buli kimu buli omu aba akimanyi. N'abasawo, this was very exclusive, very, very exclusive. So kati nze ebyange biri ongoing, mbyogerako ate mbyogerako. I say, that's it, people. So that is it. Let's hope for the best. Tulabe cancer no obaba musanga. I think the doctors are onto something. You know, they will tell me they wouldn't request for a test which doesn't add up. It's called bowel cancer screening. Liquid. Mbagala nnyo. KEGUS abaagala nnyo omusajja ono buli omu amwegomba. Buli omu yeegomba omusajja nege. Oyo gayo. Gyendi nayagala nnyo okutambula guno omwaka. Naye kati byonna ebigenda mu maaso mubiraba. 2027 March is my last appointment, and I don't know what is in between. It's all been scheduled up. Nali njagala September, October nyingire Kampala. Hey, gumye wete. Kubanga already my plan is out. It will be live. It will be live, Bulichimu. From boarding here, Heathrow, nagala ninye direct flight. Kuchisawe, nina okufuna red carpet. Balina okumpa welcome, bankubira engoma, musanyusa yaŋŋamba nti gwe buli olunaku lw'olituuka tukulina tukwanirize. Emyaka 25 mingi nnyo. Olina okuyingira ano n'ekitiibwa. And that is it. Nze mbabuulira mazima. Ye plan NAGAGA WEBULAYA. Naye NAGAGA omuto. Kati I have to shelve those plans for this year. I have to shelve those plans for this year. Tuli good. Sagala mudawo mungambe nti naye KEGUS nedda. Sisobola kutambula. If I miss one appointment, like kati nga mwemula ebitambula, there is no way. No way, Peter. Man, it's very much. Of course, there's nothing funny about this. There's nothing funny. There is nothing funny about all this. It's just taking time. Better patient. Better patient as in patient. Wait. A patient is somebody who has to wait. So that is it. So all those eagerly waiting to see me until further notice. Mulabe bya cancer biyingiddewo. If they pick up something, what do I do? What do you think comes next? Okay, mbagala nnyo. I'll keep you guys up to date.